this Nnamdi Kanu's case has continued to attract more and more protests in Nigeria and even outside Nigeria. Because we just got this news like a few minutes ago that another protest erupted for Nnamdi Kanu's release. People are not happy that Nnamdi Kanu is still there. In fact, people are not waiting until 20th November. They want him released immediately. Activist protests demand global intervention over Nnamdi Kanu's detention. Activist protests demand global, not just Nigeria. They want people across the world to get involved, and they show that Nnamdi Kanu is released the day before 20th of November. Let's move on. Activists under the aegis of the concerned indigenous people of Biafra and peaceful global awareness campaigners for justice and freedom staged a protest in Abuja on Wednesday calling for international intervention in the detention of Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, in our channel, we already gave you the video. We dropped that video like a few minutes ago. You can look at it somewhere in our channel. At the end of this video, we are going to attach it, right? The protesters who carried placards condemning the unlawful detention and torture of the IPOB leader submitted a letter to diplomatic missions and international institutions in Abuja. These people know that the intervention of the international community is very important. Of course, nobody should get tired. Nobody should say the international community has not done anything. We must keep pressuring them. What is in our hand is to keep talking, like here in Noble Media, we've taken it upon ourselves to be giving you relevant, up-to-date news as it is dropping. So everybody must keep talking. Everybody must keep engaging, keep praying. The one you can do. Why we now wait for the international community to do their own part? It is not always easy because this is freedom fighting. Okay, they submitted letters at the international institutions in Abuja. Pay attention, though. This is very, very important. If you have not liked this video, go ahead, click on like right now. In the letter, the activists called for urgent global intervention. They called for what? Urgent global intervention in Nnamdi Kanu's case. Copies were addressed to the United Nations. Pay attention. They addressed this nation to United Nations, United States Embassy, the British High Commission, the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, the Canadian High Commission, the European Union Delegation, the Australian High Commission, the embassies of France, Germany, China, Russia, Japan, South Korea, Israel, Turkey, Brazil, Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia, Benin, and the High Commission of South Africa, among others. Let's take it again. The letter, the protest letter they wrote were addressed to the following: United Nations, 1, the United States Embassy, the British High Commission, the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, the Canadian High Commission, the European Union Delegation, the Australian High Commission, the embassies of France, Germany, China, Russia, Japan, South Korea, Israel, Turkey, Brazil, Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia, Benin, and the High Commission of South Africa, among others. Dated November 12th, 2025, the letter is titled SOS, Urgent Global Humanitarian Intervention to End the Unlawful Detention and Torture of Nnamdi Kanu, and was signed by the coalition leader, Mr. Adindu Nkem. So this group, they came together to demand for the right thing to be done. You watching this video, you must also join in any way you can, even if you cannot protest. Maybe you are in Nigeria or you are one of us outside Nigeria. Try to speak, talk to people in your own little way, right? If you can write on social media, write on social media. If you can pray for Nnamdi Kanu, pray. If you believe in freedom, just know that freedom is not gotten easily. It takes sweat, it takes blood, it takes a lot of effort. So keep talking, keep praying. Come under the comment of the video and type Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu before it is too late. International community, free Nnamdi Kanu before it is too late for Nigeria. And also share this video. Very, very important. So they say urgent global intervention, humanitarian intervention to end the unlawful detention and torture of Nnamdi Kanu, and was signed by the coalition leader, Mr. Adindu Nkem. The activists said the protest and accompanying letter represented a global SOS appeal for urgent humanitarian and diplomatic intervention, in which they described as the unlawful abduction and continued detention of Kanu, who was kidnapped in Kenya and extrajudicially transferred to Nigeria in June 2021. People, of course, they rightly described it as kidnap. It wasn't arrest. They kidnapped him, knowing that he's a British citizen, knowing that international protocols were not duly observed in the way Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and brought into Nigeria. Who was kidnapped in Kenya and extrajudicially transferred to Nigeria in June 2021, a clear violation of international laws and the sovereignty of Kenya. No wonder Kenya was even bold enough to say that they were wrong in the role they played in the capture of Nnamdi Kanu. The letter further noted that despite rulings by Nigerian courts, please come under the comment of the video and type Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu before it is too late for Nigeria. Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu right now. Omotosho, don't allow yourself to be used. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu now. The letter further noted that despite rulings by Nigerian courts, the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention and several international human rights resolutions ordering his unconditional release, the Nigerian government continues to detain Kanu in solitary confinement under inhuman conditions amounting to state-sponsored terrorism and torture. This is what Nnamdi Kanu is passing through for his people. This is what Nnamdi Kanu is passing through for his people. That is why everybody that lost justice, it doesn't matter whether you are in Nigeria or you are one of us outside Nigeria. It doesn't matter whether you are Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. It doesn't matter whether you are black or white or colored. Whether any part of the world you are, whether you are in UK, US, Canada, any part of the world, but you love justice and you are watching this video, please stand for Nnamdi Kanu. It doesn't matter whether you are Igbo or not. Come on the comment of the video and type Tinubu, Nigeria, free Nnamdi Kanu before it is too late for you. As of now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health has deteriorated gravely in DSS custody. They have compromised his health. His continued detention and the harassment of peaceful campaigners constitutes a direct threat to human life, justice, and global peace, the letter added. The protesters called on world powers and international institutions to act immediately to enforce all binding local and international court orders for Kanu's unconditional release. They also urged the international community to investigate and sanction those responsible for his illegal abduction from Kenya and ongoing torture in Nigeria, and to ensure the protection of peaceful IPOB members against arbitrary arrest, harassment, and persecution. They also appeal to world leaders to recognize the extraordinary humanitarian agency of this case. They are appealing to world leaders, Donald Trump, Zelensky, China, everybody should recognize the extraordinary humanitarian urgency of this case and initiate emergency diplomatic dialogue to prevent further escalation. The letter stated, the kidnapping of a lawful self-determination leader from another sovereign nation is not a domestic issue. It is an international terrorism. This is something the Tinubu, the APC-led administration did not plan well. They did not plan the way they captured Nnamdi Kanu very well, right? You cannot go to Kenya, capture a man like Kanu, a British citizen, and bring him to Nigeria without repercussions. It is not possible. It is against international laws. Failure to act embodies future violations against activists and journalists worldwide. We humbly urge your offices to treat this matter as a life-saving emergency and moral test of global justice. The activists also demanded the designation of Nigeria as a terrorist state. Of course, Trump and America has already designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, right? citing persistent human rights violations, extrajudicial eliminations, kidnappings, torture, and suppression of peaceful self-determination movement by the Nigerian government and its security agencies, particularly the DSS and the military. Okay, we must move on. If you have not shared this video, click share. If you have not liked this video, click on like right now. And don't forget to say Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu before it crumbles Nigeria. Now that you still have the opportunity, free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now. They argue that the unlawful abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, a foreign sovereign state, without due extraordinary extradition process, constitutes an act of international terrorism and a grave violation of international conventions on human rights and state sovereignty. They further asserted that this singular act, combined with the Nigerian state ongoing prosecution, killings, and detention of peaceful IPOB members, reflects a consistent pattern of state terrorism targeted at civilians, exercising their fundamental rights. Most time people believe that Nigeria do not observe human rights. They just violate human rights the way they want. In the light of this, the activist demanded that the United Nations, African Union, European Union, the United States, and other world powers urgently launch a global inquiry into Nigerian act of self-terrorism, state terrorism. They also called on the international community to classify Nigeria as a terrorist state until it ceases all forms of unlawful abduction, secret detention, and targeted violence against unarmed civilians. Similarly, they urge ICC, International Criminal Court, to expand its ongoing investigation, because this International Criminal Court are already investigating Nigeria, into ongoing investigation into Nigeria to include crimes against humanity, enforced disappearances, and transnational terrorism, and to impose targeted sanction on individuals and state institutions responsible for this violation, particularly DSS, the DSS leadership, the Attorney General's office, and the presidency. This is what we are able to gather at the moment. As Nnamdi Kanu keeps preparing, everybody's attention is on November 20, but we must keep talking until the right thing is done. Like this video, share this video, and most importantly, there's another important video on the screen. Click on it and watch now.